Hello everyone, my name is Charlie Herman and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic will be called which is better, cruising solo or cruising with your friends or your family. Now this is something I have done both. I have never cruised with family before, but I have cruised with friends. So out of my 21 cruises, I will say it's about half and half for me. I've done half solo and half with friends. Now, the one thing is, different cruise lines treat solos differently. For example, Norwegian, as you all know, they are the originators of the Solo Travelers program, the studio rooms, making sure solo travelers meet other solo travelers, so there's no anxiety about going on a cruise by yourself and not meeting anyone else who's there on board. They do a really good job, as I said many times, with getting solo travelers together. And a couple of other cruise lines that I know of, maybe a few others that I don't know of have done it yet, but Royal Caribbean and MSC have started putting studio type rooms on board some of their ships, not all of their ships, but most of their newer ships, they're adding them when they build the ships, and they're on other ships, older ships, they'll when they redo the ships, when they put in dry dock and they refurbish the ships, they're putting in the solo traveler type, studio type of rooms. That's on Royal Caribbean and MSC. Unfortunately, a few cruise lines, mostly the Carnival Corp cruise lines, which are Carnival, Princess, Holland America, Seaboard Legend, IATA, Costa, they haven't added any of these type rooms yet or fares to their cruise lines, which is a bit disappointing. But then again, Carnival is one of the cruise lines that's always last to the party on something. They're never the innovators on something. They're usually one of the last cruise lines to start doing it, i.e. the anytime dining, which was the freestyle dining on Norwegian. They were one of the last of the major cruise companies to add that, as well as the specialty dinings as well. They were one of the last cruise lines to do that as well. So hopefully at some point Carnival will add the solo travelers or fares or studio type of rooms on board, but I see that being a long way off. Okay, so first topic thing I'm going to talk about when I said cruising solo again, or cruising with your friends or family, I'm going to talk about cruising solo first. Now, as I said, some but not all cruise lines have added the studio room, so that's something you have to be careful with, otherwise you will end up paying double, unfortunately. So, one of the nicest things about cruising solo is the privacy factor. When you have your own room, you can come and go as you please. You're not sharing a room with anyone, you're not sharing. And that also, if you say cruise on a cruise line that doesn't have the solo rooms and you stay in a regular size room, you are not sharing the drawer space, the closet space on board, so you can use as many hangers as you want, as many the drawers you want for however much whatever you pack, you have all the space you need. Another thing is you have your own bathroom, so you're not depending on someone else's schedule on showering, brushing your teeth, or you can basically shower whenever you want. You can watch, if you come back to your room late at night, you can watch TV if you want. You can choose what you want to watch if that's what you want to do. And also, as I said before, when you have your own room, you can go as you please. If you're someone like me who's at the bar till like 1:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, the disco, whatever, if you're sharing a room, when you have your own room, you don't have to worry about coming in at the room very silently at that time of night and waking someone up. As I said, you have your own room, you have privacy, it's up to you. Now, some people, if you like to sleep naked, you don't like to sleep naked, whatever. If you're one of those people who does like to sleep naked or in almost nothing, especially in a hot night on a Caribbean cruise, once again, you have your own room. So privacy is one of the biggest factors when cruising solo. You have as much privacy as you want or need. Another thing is you choose what type of dining you want. For example, you can choose the anytime dining. You can choose the traditional dinner time if you're going on a cruise line like Carnival, Royal Caribbean, MSC, Princess, Holland America, Celebrity, etc., who still have the traditional dinner. You can choose whatever dinner time you like. If you prefer the earlier seating, that's better for you because you don't mind getting right back on the ship, showering, getting ready for dinner, and then just eating right away. That's better for you. You can choose that. If you're someone like me who prefers once you coming back from excursion to take your time, relax a little bit, hang out by the pool, go to the bar, or go to the gym, whatever, you choose the later dining. You are at your leisure. You can shower as soon as you want, or later. You can get a couple of drinks before dinner. You can go to the sports bar, casino, etc., whatever you like. So that's another thing about when you're cruising solo. You're on your own schedule, especially when it comes to dinner, shows, nightlife. You're on your own schedule. If you are now, as I said, Carnival is one of those cruise lines that does not have the studio type of rooms or solo fare, single traveler fare, solo traveler fare. So if you're traveling solo on a cruise line like Carnival, you unfortunately will pay double for your room. I've done it many times when I can't find someone to cruise with, but I like the itinerary on Carnival, so I go on them. You're going to be prepared to pay double. So whatever the list price you see on the cruise website is, keep in mind that's based on double occupancy per person. So if it says $725 for an inside room, you go by yourself, that's going to be about $1,500 once taxes are included. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Be prepared to spend double, which I know makes you want to cringe, but unfortunately that's what it is. Now if you're cruising on a cruise line that, as I said, like Carnival, that doesn't have a solo program, you are unfortunately on your own when it comes to trying to meet other solo travelers or other people on board in general, because with the cruise lines like Norwegian, that does have perfected the solo travelers program to an art. They have the solo travelers gathering every night. They help you meet other people traveling by themselves, and you'll make a lot of friends that way in those solo traveler programs. So if you're going on a cruise line such as Carnival, they do advertise in the Funtime Dailies solo meetings for single meetings for people traveling by themselves, singles people's meet, etc., but there is no member of the Carnival crew staff there, so it's sort of like you go at your own risk, and if you meet someone there, you do, and if there's no one else there who's single, well, it's unfortunately, but it's up to you to meet other people, and the only time you pretty much will meet other people that you're guaranteed to meet other people is at the dinner time. Now, if you're a social butterfly, then you won't have any trouble meeting people on board, but there is no organized activity to meet other solo travelers on board. So the other people you meet may be traveling with someone else. They could be traveling with family. There's no guarantee the other people you will meet on board that ship will be solo travelers. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Now, what I'm gonna talk about is cruising with your friends and family, and this is a great way to spend time with people you don't get to spend as much time as you would like to spend with. I mean, when you spend time with very good friends, you see them a lot, but this is a way to spend even more quality time with them because you're on a ship together, on vacation. You're not trying to find a night together where you can go out or hang out or just have dinner, get a drink, or when you're traveling with family, when you're trying to get a family get-together, you're on vacation together. So this is a really good way to spend time with your loved ones. Now, as I said before, if you're going to stay in traditional style room, all the cruise rates are based on double occupancy. So if you're traveling with a friend or a family member, whatever the list price says, if it's $7.25 per person, that's what it's going to be for you. Just add whatever the taxes is. There's no surprises there. It's $7.20 per person. You add the taxes, and that's what it is. Now, another thing you want to consider with this is when you have 3 people in a room, you have the double occupancy price. Then it's usually about $300 or $400 for an additional person. My friends and I did this once. There were 3 of us in an inside room on Norwegian Cruise Line. That was my first Norwegian cruise on the Norwegian Pearl in 2011, and we split the room 3 ways. So it kind of made it even cheaper than it would have been if it would just been me and one other friend, because we split the room 3 ways, which made it even cheaper, and that allows you even more money on your travel budget, on airfare, hotel, car rental, whatever you need to spend money on. That actually makes it cheaper. So if you're going to travel with someone, if there's a 3rd person interested, always consider that, because then you split the room 3 ways. It makes it even cheaper. Now, another thing you have to consider, and this is not that much of a con to traveling with someone else, it's just something you have to consider. You have to make all the decisions together when you're traveling with someone, such as the cruise line, the cruise ship, the itinerary, where you're going to be sailing out of, the type of room you want to stay in, the dinner time, all that. You have to make those decisions together. It doesn't matter if one person's more an experienced cruiser than another. Say, example, you've been on like 10 cruises. The person you're traveling with has never been on a cruise before, maybe 1 or 2 cruises. That's not a decision you want to leave to the other person just because they have more experience. This is your vacation together. Has to be something you're both gonna have to agree on, because you want to both enjoy your vacation. For example, if you're traveling with your friend, you have no status on the cruise line, you've maybe sailed on one cruise line, another on another cruise line, or your friend is, say, for example, Platinum on Norwegian, Diamond on Carnival. They have that type of status, so that they might want to favor that cruise line over another cruise line because they have the status, they get all the perks. So something you need to consider when you're traveling with someone else is they may have a certain cruise line they want to sail on. They may always stay in a certain type of room. They may always stay in a suite or a balcony, and you've only stayed in a inside room because that's the only room you have that was within your budget. So that's something you at times will have to compromise with. You have to come up, stay in a room everyone's going to be happy with. You have to choose an itinerary that you both will enjoy. It's not going to be like, well, this is the itinerary I want to do, and since I've done this itinerary before, I know everything that's on it. Trust me, you'll have a really good time. It can't work like that. It has to be something that is a joint decision for you guys. You have to choose the itinerary together. You have to choose the ship together, type of cabin. It has to be a joint effort so you both will enjoy your vacation to the fullest. Another thing you have to consider when sharing a room with someone is the drink package, because on most cruise lines, if you're staying in a room, whoever's staying in the room, 1, 2, 3, 4 people, if one person wants the drink package, everyone in the room has to purchase it. So if you have sharing a room with someone, you know they're not that big of a drinker, but you are a big drinker, you have to have the conversation about purchasing the drink package, because you know for you it might be cost efficient to purchase the drink package because you know you're on vacation, you want to have fun, you want to have some drinks at the bar, dinner, shows, piano bar, watching a game, the casino, whatever. But the person you're with may not drink as much as they plan on or think as they will. That's the conversation you have to have, because a drink package will cost you about $400 per person. So that's something you really have to have the conversation on. It's about, is it worth it getting the drink package? Because if I get it, this person has to get it. If they want to buy it, but I don't want to buy it, that's something you have to make the decision on, because it's unfortunately the cruise lines don't allow where one person in one room can get the drink package and the other person just pays as they go. Unfortunately, if one person gets it, the other person has to get it. So that's something you need to consider as a drink package when you're sharing a room with someone. You either both get it or neither of you get it. So if you choose to get it, then everything's paid for. You don't have to worry about drinks at dinner and so on. And if you don't get it, then you have to pretty much figure out a folio budget which will allow you to drink as much as you would like to drink on board the ship. The last thing I want to talk about when you travel with someone is picking excursions. Now, everyone has their own type of things they like to do when they get off the ship. Some people like the beach, some like the tours, some just like to get off the ship and just walk around. Some like the touristy type of excursions. Some like, as I said, the beach. Some like the shopping excursions. Some like the food tasting excursions. Some like the Segway or ATV excursions. So when it comes to excursion, I know when I travel with friends, we want to do at least one excursion together. I might do one excursion, one port. They might do an excursion in another excursion in the same port, but we always try to do one excursion together. So that's something when it comes to doing the excursion together, something you're going to agree on, that when you look at the excursions, you can say, yes, this is something I'm going to like, and they can say the same thing, yeah, this is something we both really will like. So that when it comes to excursions, when you're traveling with someone else, pick an excursion you know that they're something that not only you like and something they will like, but when you're traveling with a friend, you kind of know what your friends like. So that should be one of the easiest things to choose when it comes to choosing an excursion, something you will like. Now, the last thing when it comes to cruising with a friend or family is having enough space in your cabin. When you're sharing a cabin, an inside room, which I almost always stay in, is about the size of a college dorm room. So there's not a lot of space in there. You're sharing a closet, you're sharing drawer space. Always consider collapsible luggage because the luggage goes under your bed. So this is something you need to understand, that the different type of rooms, they all have more space. So if space is a concern, you might want to consider getting a bigger room, such as an ocean view, balcony, if it's in your budget. If not, just understand that there's not a lot of space in the room. You are sharing the room with someone, so you have to figure out, live with the fact you're sharing a bathroom, you're sharing drawer space, closet space. You just have to be ready to be ready to share the room and understand you might not have as much space as you would like. In closing, when it comes there, as I said, there are both pros and cons to cruise as both aspects, and you have to choose when it comes to cruising which is better for you. If cruising solo is better for you, then you should cruise solo. If you prefer to cruise with friends or family, you should cruise with friends or family. Either option is a great option. I have done both of them. I prefer to travel with friends because it lessens the costs for me. I'm always on a budget, so when I can travel with someone else, especially a friend, I always have a good time with a friend. We get to spend a full week catching up. We might not spend as much time together as we would like, so that's a great thing to do. So I prefer to travel with friends, but as I said, there was nothing wrong with cruising solo. I've been on 21 cruises. I'll say at least 9 of them I've cruised solo. So cruising solo is also great as well, especially sometimes you just need a vacation by yourself with no friends, no family, just you, and that's why cruising solo is also good. So that's all I have to say right about now. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll be back soon with another topic. Thank you. Have a good night.